Welcome to a cool night from Fenway Park. The fans are bundled up tonight. It's game one of a four-game series between the Orioles and the Red Sox. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, along with Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, the Red Sox return home from Chicago, where Boston was able to take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox, and an eventful series for their shortstop, Xander Bogaerts.
Well, he's off to a very good start for the Red Sox, and among American League rookies, he's done very, very well, as you can see. He's first in walks with 9, second with a batting average of .268, which is probably going to climb, second in on-base percentage, and has 15 hits so far this season. Now, Bogaerts had an interesting series, as you mentioned, in Chicago. The disaster on the first night as he throws the ball away, and, you know, that would tear apart a lot of rookies, but not Bogaerts. He comes back in the very next game and gets himself right here, a base hit up the middle. He continues to play very well in that game. That was a drive-in dust of Pedroia, steals second base, and in the third game of the series against Chris Sale, a very good pitcher, hits the home run. So Bogaerts still in a learning process for the Red Sox, learning that shortstop position, but producing very well at this stage of the season.
Well, we saw a very good pitching matchup last night in the finale against Chicago. Another one tonight, as it is Chris Tillman matched up against John Lackey. Lackey is 2-1 this season, lifetime 14-5 against Baltimore. Chris Tillman 1-1 with a nifty 0.94 earned run average. We're back with more right after this. Series between the Orioles and the Red Sox. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Well, the Red Sox with some offense troubles on the road trip that the Red Sox ended up on the trip, dropping 3 out of 4 to the Yankees and winning 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. One of the issues was the bottom of the Red Sox order, an adjustment made tonight before the ball game to help bolster some of that offense at the bottom of the lineup. Ryan Roberts has been designated for assignment. He got in 8 total games and hit just 105 as Brock Holt returns to the Red Sox. Recalled from Pawtucket, where he was hitting a cool 380. The Red Sox and John Farrell hope that continues here at Fenway. With more, there's Gary Streisky.
Yeah, Don, the Red Sox going ahead and exchanging age for beauty, bringing up 25-year-old Brock Holt to play third base. Now, it's what John Farrell hopes Holt brings to the plate that he's been doing down in Pawtucket that he hopes translates to Fenway tonight. In our Geico quote of the day.
He's clearly earned the promotion here. You know, when he was sent out, even after just one day, of being here with the big league club, I think he was initially disappointed, but he's channeled that in the right way and gone down and played very well on the left side of the infield. We've come through a stretch, I think, of 7 left-handed starters against us over the past 10, and we're kind of reversing that right now, going against primarily right-handers. So we felt like we needed to try a different combination to attempt to spark that bottom third of the order.
Now, Don, as you mentioned, in 12 games with Pawtucket, Holt's batting .380. Now, out of the 12 games he's played defensively, only 2 of those games have come on the hot corner, so we'll see how he adjusts tonight at Fenway.
All right, Gary, well, it's going to be a cold night tonight at Fenway Park. It seems like the Red Sox brought the cold with them from Chicago. We're back with the first pitch from Fenway right after this. Southwest Airlines, the new GMC Sierra, Dunkin' Donuts, your New England Audi dealers, and by the new Scion TC. Welcome back to Fenway Park as the Red Sox and Orioles open up this 4-game series tonight, and it is very cold here tonight at Fenway Park as the Red Sox and Orioles meet again. This American League East battle, and the fans bundled up. 41 degrees to get it started tonight. The breeze out to right field at 6 miles per hour, and the forecast is for clouds above the stadium for the remainder of the night, and it is currently cloudy above Fenway as the lights are on. And the Red Sox welcome the Orioles to town. Baltimore coming in at 7-7. They're 2 games back of the Yankees in the American League East, while the Red Sox are 7-9, currently 3 games out, and the Red Sox, of course, winning their last 2 games in Chicago. But the fans ready to go, and John Lackey tonight getting the start for Boston, his 4th start of the year, and he'll try to continue the momentum that we saw last night from John Lester, and what was a remarkable outing last night for Lester, and a very well pitched and played game last night in Chicago.
In very cold conditions, too, for the first 2 games of that series. It warmed up a little bit last night. We had a great game played last night. A nice win for the Red Sox to come back home. And John Lackey looking to bounce back after a tough start last time out against the New York Yankees when he gave up 10 hits and 6 earned runs.
Lackey and the Red Sox take the field tonight, as they do. Let's check out the visiting Baltimore Orioles starting 9. Nick Markakis is in right field leading it off with Delman Young in left field batting second. Chris Davis at first base. Adam Jones in center field in the cleanup spot with Nelson Cruz, the DH. Matt Wieters does the catching, bat 6th with J.J. Hardy at shortstop. Stephen Lombardozzi is at second base, and Jonathan Scope at third base bats 9th. Tonight's Red Sox starting pitcher is presented by your New England Audi dealers. Experience the all-new 2015 Audi A3 today. John Lackey's 4th start of the year comes in at 2-1 with a 3.86 earned run average, 17 strikeouts to 3 walks, and opponents hitting at 254 for John Lackey. Now, Lackey has 14 victories in his career against the Orioles and did beat them last time out, April the 2nd, a 6-inning effort, giving up only 2 runs.
Now, the Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 9th in the American League with 11 errors in their 16 games. Brock Holt gets a start at third base. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second. And Mike Kopp, the first baseman. Left to right, Grady Sizemore, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Daniel Nava. A.J. Przinsky doing the catching for John Lackey.
Paul Schreiber has the plate for the umpires tonight, calling the balls and strikes, with Mark Carlson at first base. Ted Barrett is the crew chief. He's at second base, and the third base umpire is Will Little. This game is available in Spanish. The SAP function is brought to you by the new Captain Morgan White Rum.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Now the Red Sox in their alternate red jerseys tonight as we begin this series. And back home again after their trip to New York and Chicago. And Boston will be taking on the Baltimore Orioles for the next 4 days, and then welcome the New York Yankees in for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before heading back out on the road again to Toronto. But definitely the Red Sox brought the cold weather from Chicago with them home as we get ready for baseball. And Brock Holt is here in time for tonight's start, as he was called up today, and we saw the numbers off the top, hitting at .380 with the Pawtucket Red Sox. So he is at third base. And John Lackey ready to work to Nick Markakis to get it started here in the first inning. Markakis at .262, no homers and 3 runs batted in, and he has been leading off for the O's this season. And he lines one down the left field line towards the corner. It's going to be a fair ball. Bouncing around down there in the corner. Sizemore will dig it out, but Markakis jumping on the first pitch has got himself a double.
And Markakis not wasting any time. First fastball from John Lackey, and he slaps it down in that left field corner. A .333 career hitter against Lackey gets that first fastball away and takes it to the opposite field for the leadoff double. Just barely in fair territory. And that's going to be questioned, I think, by John Farrell.
Yeah, I'm not so sure on that first look, Jim.
Yeah, on that first look, it looked like it might have been foul.
And John here talking with Will Little, the third base umpire, and We'll see if they're going to challenge this.
Looks like they are. The first pitch of the game is going to be challenged by the Boston Red Sox. Very tough to tell. I mean, most of the baseball was in foul territory. There's no question about that.
You see any chalk kick up at all there? I don't think you do.
No, I think some of the dirt covered the chalk after the ball bounced past it in foul territory. I think the Red Sox might win this challenge. That angle there, to me, looks like a foul ball.
Yes. We'll see if they feel it is conclusive enough to overturn the call. The call right now stands as a double. And on the phone here with New York, the crew chief Ted Barrett. So right out of the gate tonight, on the first pitch of the game, we've got ourselves a challenge. In the meantime, Lackey throwing warm-up tosses as he waits to see what the deal's going to be here. And they have the angles that we have just showed you to take a look at in New York.
And also showing on the center field scoreboard here at Fenway Park. And most of the crowd agreeing that the ball was in foul territory. We'll see.
Actually looking at the screen as they wait to get the report from New York. There is the mark, but it appears to be foul, but very difficult to tell where it actually landed in that area. We've learned one thing in this process, that it is not as quick as we thought it might be.
No, back to the headsets. Looks like they're ready to take them off, and now they've got them back on.
They're talking back and forth, waiting to hear from different places. He continues to throw warm-up tosses here while he waits, trying to stay loose on a cold night here tonight at Fenway. All right, they have what they're going to do here, and they're going to keep him at second base. They're going to say it's fair. So the challenge does not work here for John Farrell. We did not see an angle that we thought that it was a fair ball. 3 minutes and 35 seconds later, they have decided that it is going to stand as was called on the field. So a double for Nick Markakis. Delman Young. And he'll take strike one from Lackey, who had to wait a long time.
Delman Young's been swinging the bat very, very well. A 5-game hitting streak. You see the average of 400.
Just missing was Lackey, in the count 1-1. Delman Young getting the start in left field, batting second in the order for the Orioles. Rightfully foul off to the right, out of play, and it's 1-2. Delman Young making his Orioles debut this season. On opening day was the DH. He's been the DH most of the time.
And he was hitting down in the lineup when we saw him at the beginning of the season. Now hitting second.
And a swing and a miss. Lackey gets him to chase, strikes him out for out number one.
And Lackey goes to the curveball to pick up the strikeout against Delman Young. So a big out, leave that man at second base, pick up the first out of the ball game.
So So runner at second, one down for Chris Davis. 53 home runs a year ago. It's a .292 with a home run, 8 runs batted in. Davis so far has 1 home run on the season. And a pitch straightens him up, fastball up and in.
Red Sox go into the shift on the right side of the infield. Pedroia back on the outfield grass.
Last year an all-star for the first time, was the leading vote getter as it turned out. 8.2 million votes among all players. He was also in the home run derby a year ago. .1-0 into the shift here on the right side. It is Bogaerts who throws to first to get Davis, as Markakis takes third with now 2 outs in the inning. Well, baseball is back in season, so gather 20 or more of your friends, family, and coworkers for a group outing at Fenway and secure exclusive access to seats. Call 877-RED-SOX-9 or visit redsox.com/groups for more information. 2 outs here in the first inning. Nick Markakis at third base and Adam Jones the batter. .259 average for Jones with a home run, 6 runs batted in. He'll take strike 1 right at the bottom of the zone.
Good live fastball from Lackey at 93 miles an hour. Right knee high to Adam Jones.
Popped up foul off to the right out of play. 0-2.
That first series against the Orioles, the Red Sox really pitched Jones away quite often in that series.
I also saw that he was very aggressive in that series, swinging to the first or second pitch. And here he is down 0-2. Ground ball up the middle, and Bogaerts will grab it, throw on the run, but not nearly in time, and a run will score. As Markakis comes in from third base on a base hit for Adam Jones, the Orioles strike first and take a 1-0 lead.
Well, the Red Sox lose the challenge. Markakis with the leadoff double gets to third base, and then the ground ball up the middle. Bogaerts can get to it, but there's really nothing he can do with it when he gets to that point right there. Tries a desperation throw to first base, but not nearly in time, and the Orioles take the 1-0 lead.
So 2 down, Jones at first, and Nelson Cruz the batter. And he'll take ball 1 a little bit wide. Former Texas Ranger checking in, hitting at .250. 2 homers and 7 runs batted in. Cruz had a good series against Boston at Camden Yards to begin the year. Cruz swings over the top of that, 1-1. In fact, he hit home runs in each of his first 2 games in an Orioles uniform. Became the 5th Oriole in franchise history to do that. Well, last year had 20 home runs, 75 RBIs for the 5th consecutive season that he's had at least 20 and at least 75. That included the 50-game suspension last year as well. Runner goes, a bobble for Pierzynski, and Adam Jones steals second base.
Now Jones picks up his first steal of the season. It was a fastball, but in the transfer, Pierzynski can't hold on to the baseball. Gets behind him, and Jones picks up the easy steal to get in the scoring position. Orioles have not been running that much on the season.
A swing and a miss, and Nelson Cruz strikes out, but the Orioles strike first. They take a 1-0 lead. John Farrell, trying to figure out what the umpire said to him on the challenge, as John Farrell's challenge was not overturned. On the ruling down the left field line, it appeared to be a foul ball, at least from all the angles we had. It was to the left of the line. Nick Markakis gets credit for a double, ends up coming around to score. And the Red Sox lose their challenge as Grady Sizemore leads it off and takes strike one. Sizemore hitting at .273, 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. Sizemore, Nava, and Pedroia here in the bottom of the first inning. Get another look, and this is the most definitive look we have. And again, it looks like the ball is to the left, and that spray of dirt actually covers up the line down there. 1-1 is grounded back to the mound. Tillman able to pick it, a bobble though, and then he is still able to get Sizemore at first base. Let's check out the rest of the Red Sox starting 9. Grady Sizemore in left field, Daniel Nava in right. Dustin Pedroia at second base, bats third with Mike Napoli the DH. Mike Karp at first base with Xander Bogaerts at shortstop batting sixth. A.J. Brzezinski does the catching with Jackie Bradley Jr. in center. And Brock Holt at third base, bats ninth. And Brock Holt just called up today. In case you're just joining us tonight, Ryan Roberts designated for assignment by the Red Sox, and Holt, who is on fire offensively with Pawtucket, has been brought back to Boston as Daniel Nava takes strike one. Nava hitting at .130 so far this year, 2 homers and 3 runs batted in. Nava takes strike 2. He was 1 for 11 in the series at Chicago and 3 for 22 on the trip, although he did have 2 home runs. 3 hits he had, 2 of them long balls. Number 2 is high, 1-2. Nava bats now. Dustin Pedroia waiting on deck as the Red Sox bat here in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 1-0. Chris Tillman coming in with a 0.94 earned run average. What has been a terrific beginning to the season for him. Red Sox have taken 2 of the first 3 games of the year against Baltimore. They took 2 out of 3 in Baltimore. As we take a look at Chris Tillman, it's presented by Nissan as Tillman comes in to make his 4th start of the year. 1-1 with a 0.84 earned run average, 15 strikeouts to 3 walks, and opponents hitting at 188 against Tillman. 2-2 pitch. Nava strikes out. That pitch was up, and he chases it for the second out.
You talked about Tillman, and you know those first 3 games coming against the Red Sox, Detroit, and Toronto. He has always been tough on Boston. In 12 career starts against the Red Sox, he is 4-2 with a 2.67 ERA.
2 down for Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia checking in, hitting at .231 coming into tonight's game. Pedroia 3 for 23 on the last road trip for the Red Sox. Just came home in the middle of the trip to get checked out, get the MRI on the wrist, and was cleared and back in games again in Chicago. 2-0 pitch in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Take a look at our Chevy key player, Dustin Pedroia, against Baltimore, hitting at .467 with a double and a couple of runs so far this season. Grounded foul off the front of the Orioles dugout.
Now we've seen 2 of Tillman's pitches so far. The fastball, which has been about 89 to 90, and the changeup. That last pitch to Dustin Pedroia, a changeup.
Too far inside, and it's a full count now to Pedroia. On deck, Mike Napoli is the DH tonight, getting the night off defensively at first base. And a foul off to the right, out of play. Sports can bring you to the edge of your seat and to your feet. It should always bring you to NESN.com, the region's #1 sports site, with comprehensive Red Sox coverage and the most Bruins content in New England. Get live blogs, video, and podcasts found only on NESN.com. The 3-2 to Pedroia is outside for ball 4. Tillman loses him, and the Red Sox have their first base runner of the night.
Let's take a look at the Orioles defense. They've been the best so far in the American League. Only 3 errors in 14 games. Jonathan Scope at third base, J.J. Hardy the shortstop, Steve Lombardozzi at second, and Chris Davis the first baseman. Left to right, Delman Young, Adam Jones, and Nick Markakis, and Matt Wieters doing the catching for Tillman.
2 down, Dustin Pedroia at first base, and Mike Napoli the batter. Napoli taking strike 1. 304 average for Napoli. 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. Turned to the Red Sox lineup last night as Red Sox have Chris Davis holding on. Pedroia at first base, swung over towards second base is Lombardozzi. And a swing and a miss at a pitch away, 0-2.
Napoli getting the start at DH tonight. David Ortiz getting the beginning of the night off. A scheduled off day for Ortiz.
Ball and 2 strikes to Mike Napoli. Tillman, 25 years of age, from Anaheim, California. There's the former Red Sox pitching coach Dave Wallace, now with the Orioles. Napoli strikes out to end the first inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Tillman. A 1-0 Orioles lead. We'll get you an injury update when we come back. One nothing. Orioles have the lead over the Red Sox. Top half of the second inning, and Matt Wieters to lead it off for the O's as he takes strike 1 from John Lackey. He was at .341 to begin the year. 3 homers, 9 runs batted in for the Orioles all-star catcher. In the dirt, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Wieters. Center fielder Jackie Bradley Jr. over towards left center. Somewhat of a gap out there in right center. Did he go? No, he did not, says Will Little, the third base umpire.
Hockey trying the breaking ball, trying to get a commit to that swing, but no swing by Wieters.
J.J. Hardy, then Steve Lombardozzi expected to bat here in the second inning for the O's. Grounder foul. Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by GMC. See why incredible thinking is everywhere. Visit your local GMC dealer or go to gmc.com. 2-2 pitch. Raiders takes it outside for ball 3. Gave you the numbers earlier. John Lackey 14-5 against Baltimore in his career. A 3.33 earned run average in 24 career starts. And he loses Wieters, walks him to begin things here in the second inning. We promised you an injury update. Gary Strysko, give us one.
Yeah, Don, these guys are starting to go together like peanut butter and jelly. Shane Victorino, Will Middlebrooks, both trying to get back to 100%. Both here today at Fenway, getting some work in. Shane Victorino actually took batting practice with the team before heading down to Pawtucket for a 2 to 3 game rehab stint before returning here to Fenway. And Will Middlebrooks, he's actually battling, of course, that calf strain and the flu, but not sick enough to be quarantined like Victorino was from the team. John Farrell saying earlier today Middlebrooks should start his rehab stint sometime middle next week.
Well, hopefully starting to get some of these guys back for the Red Sox. Both important to the Red Sox offense. Leadoff walk here from Matt Wieters to begin the second inning. Now J.J. Hardy, it's a fly ball to center. Jackie Bradley Jr. is there to put it away as Wieters returns to the bag at first, 1 down.
That Victorino thing is interesting. How much time he's going to need at the minor league level. He hasn't played very much at all, and the fact that a couple of games may not be enough for him, I think they'll let him determine just how long he needs. But they'd love him back in this Red Sox lineup as soon as possible.
1 on, 1 out, and Steve Lombardozzi, the batter, second baseman for the O's, hitting just under 300 at 298. In the dirt, knocked down by Pierzynski. No advance for Wieters at first base. For Lackey in 7 career starts against Baltimore at home at Fenway Park. He is 4-1 with a 3.51 earned run average. As the pitch rides a little bit outside, 2-0. Oh, for ball 3, 3-0. Steve Lombardozzi batting here. His dad, Steve, was a Major League infielder for 6 seasons between Minnesota and Houston, and his dad hit .344 during the Twins' 1987 World Championship run. There's a strike, 3-1. Well, a strike as Allen grabs the corner, full count.
Now, Lombardozzi doesn't want that kind of pitch on a 3-1 count. A fastball, nasty fastball on the outside part of the plate. They're looking for something middle in.
And he slices it foul into the grandstand off to the left. Robertozzi spending the last 3 years with the Washington Nationals. Last 2 full years in the big leagues with Washington. Nationals 19th round pick originally. On it goes, a swing and a miss. Throw from Pierzynski's a good one. And out at second base is Wieters to end the inning. A strike him out, throw him out, double play. Wraps up the top of the second. It's a 1-0 Baltimore lead. Orioles have a 1-0 advantage. Orioles getting a run in the top of the first inning. A controversial double by Nick Markakis. He would score on an Adam Jones infield hit, and it's the difference in the game. Controversial because the Red Sox challenged it and it appeared to be a foul ball. It called fair, and the umpires did not overturn it. Mike Carp, Xander Bogaerts, A.J. Pierzynski to bat here in the second. And a liner into center field for a base hit from Mike Carp. And Carp getting the start tonight and making good in his first at bat.
Only 2 for 14 in his career off Tillman before this at bat. A line shot into center field for the base hit. That's on the fastball from Tillman.
So lead runner on for the first time tonight for Boston. Here is Xander Bogaerts. 268 with a home run, 2 runs batted in. Bogaerts 2 for 10 in the series against the White Sox. His first home run of the year last night off the tough lefty Chris Sale. Home run for Bogaerts is somewhat of a milestone. The Red Sox first player age 21 or younger to do it since Wilton Veras back in 1999 for Boston. That was at Atlanta. Outside for ball 3, 3-0.
Well, Bogaerts has 9 walks on the season with 15 strikeouts. Ahead in the count here, 3 balls and no strikes. Pierzynski on deck.
Bogarts taking, and he takes strike one. Tillman allowing his first hit of his outing to Mike Karp to begin this inning. Karp held on over there by Chris Davis. And a swing and a miss for Bogarts. Another fastball back to back. They've been anywhere from 89 to 90.
And a late swing this time by Bogarts on the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Keeping it away from Xander just a little bit. Outside part of the plate.
Ball four, and down to first base goes Bogarts. Second walk given up by Chris Tillman. First two have reached. Well, to celebrate the 2013 World Championship Boston Red Sox, Hood Red Sox Ice Cream is now a winner too. Pick up Hood Champions Ice Cream in all of your favorite flavors today. A base hit and a walk, first and second, nobody out. A.J. Pierzynski with his first at bat of the night. A.J. 0 for 8 in the series against the White Sox, and 2 for 18 on the road trip. His first home run in a Red Sox uniform as part of the road trip in New York for rookie Kuroda. Hit a 2-run home run. It was a game-tying shot at the time at Yankee Stadium. Is going to miss a little bit low. 2-0.
Well, so far we've seen nothing but fastballs and changeups from Tillman.
Pierzynski hits it in the air to right field. Down the line, Markakis coming over onto the track to make the catch. Fires into second base, and back to the bag safely is Karp. It wandered off the bag there, and he gets back quickly. Markakis with a very good arm. Good long running catch there for Markakis. First out of the inning.
He's a very good right fielder. Covered a lot of ground to make this play off Pierzynski. You can see the jump that he gets right there, and heading directly toward foul territory in those stands. Makes the catch, quickly gets it back in, and runners have to move and have to stay at first and second.
So one out, first and second, and Jackie Bradley Jr. coming up. He had the big hit in game 2 of the series against Chicago in the 14th inning, driving in the 2 go-ahead and turned out to be winning runs. So that's the dance out of the way of that pitch bouncing in.
There's the curveball from Tillman. Fastball, curveball, changeup. This one bouncing, and a nice play by Matt Wieters behind the plate.
In there for a strike, and it evens at 1-1. Bradley 1 for 11 in the series against the White Sox, 2 for 24 on the trip. And those 2 huge RBIs in the 14th inning. Now a ground ball base hit into right field. Mike Karp is stopped at third base by Brian Butterfield. The throw to the plate as the bases are now loaded with 1 out. Sharply hit by Bradley Jr. through the right side, and Red Sox have them loaded with 1 down.
Yeah, really no option for Butterfield there but to hold the runner at third base. This ball hit hard by Bradley Jr. Finds that hole between first and second. Watch Markakis charge this ball very hard. And once Butterfield sees that and how shallow he is, he has to hold the runner at third base. No choice. So the Red Sox got a chance to do some damage with the bottom of this lineup right now, with Holt getting his first at bat.
Well, Brock Holt, who had the 4th highest average in the International League, at 380, called back up here by the Red Sox. That hit safely in his last 4 games in Pawtucket. And lifts the first one down the left field line. Delman Young over by the seats will not have a play. Back into the crowd. Holt spending most of last year at AAA with the Paw Sox as well. In his first year in the Boston organization, hit .258 last year in 83 games with Pawtucket, but also got into 26 games last year with Boston. 3 different stints here in Boston. Swing and a miss, and Holt is down 0-2.
That's the curveball again, the second one that Tillman has featured tonight, and gets Brock Holt to chase it. Never really in the strike zone.
Well, he's bounced the first 2 that he has thrown. Carp at third, Bogarts at second, Bradley Jr. at first, 1 out. In there for strike 3. Holt goes down looking. 3rd strikeout for Tillman. A big out, 2 down.
No waste pitch there on an 0-2 count, right to the inside corner with the fastball. Because as a hitter, you're looking to protect the outside part of the plate. Tillman comes in and busts him inside with the fastball and catches him looking.
Now 2 down, and Grady Sizemore the chance here to at least tie this game up. Red Sox trailing 1-0 as they bat here in the 2nd inning. Sizemore back in that leadoff spot. He grounded back to the mound in the 1st inning. Inside for ball 1. Swing and a miss on a pitch. It was up. Sizemore couldn't lay off. 1-1. Now, Sizemore was 2 for 2 with a home run against Chris Tillman in the last meeting, and that was kind of his coming out party with the Red Sox, and a home run in his first game back in the majors since 2011. As the pitch is just off the inside edge.
Very similar to the pitch that he struck Holt out on. Fastball inside, that one just a little bit more inside, and Sizemore takes it.
Daniel Nava waiting on deck. 2 down, bases filled with Red Sox here in the 2nd inning. Sizemore hits one high and deep to center field. Adam Jones going back. He will have room, and he makes the catch just shy of the track to end the 2nd inning. Red Sox leave them loaded. We'll talk Wally Wave when we come back. Top half of the third inning back at Fenway Park. Red Sox had a very good opportunity but could not make good on it as they end up stranding the bases loaded in. Boston has left 4 men on through the first 2 innings, trail 1-0. Jonathan Schoop leading it off here for the Orioles, and Schoop off to a 244 start with home runs, 6 runs batted in. It's a ground ball up the middle. Bogart's ranging and he'll knock it down, but Schoop will reach. So leadoff single for Jonathan Schoop here in the third inning. They promised you the Wally wave, and here it is in between innings. A lot of kids getting involved up here on the monster seats. The Wally wave. Not just Wally, but he brought some young friends with him as well. I see this thing taking off, Jerry. I really do.
I didn't know Wally had moves like that.
Terrific dancer.
He's getting his groove on.
This one fouled off to the left, out of play. Nick Markakis with a double in the first came around to score the first Orioles run. Line to right, down towards the right field corner. As Schoop is headed for third, maybe beyond. They're going to try to wave him in. Throw coming in and off the glove of Pedroia. No throw as in comes Schoop all the way from first base. It's an RBI double for Nick Markakis, and the Orioles up their lead at 2-0.
Well, Markakis with 2 doubles now in the game gets the fastball inside. Looks like a little cut fastball from John Lackey, and it runs all the way down that right field line. And you see it stop right there. Naba's going to chase it down, and that's when they start to wave the man home. Schoop comes all the way from first base, and the Orioles take the 2-0 lead.
So 2 doubles tonight for Nick Markakis, and the Orioles have a 2-0 advantage. Delman Young, the batter. Young struck out swinging in the first inning. Lackey has 3 Ks on the night. Lackey going back and forth with Brzezinski, and now AJ is going to come out and talk to Lackey, see what he wants to do. Swing and a miss, and a pitch down and away. And it's a ball and a strike now to Delman Young.
Well, what Lackey wanted to do was throw a slider to Delman Young, and he threw him a good one.
Well, Delman Young, who started last year as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies, played in 80 games with the Phillies, of the first 119 games with the Phils before he got released. And then ended up with the Tampa Bay Rays, a team that he started with initially. And we saw him at the tail end of last year with Tampa Bay. 2-1 pitch misses up and in. That is pitch 40 of the night for John Lackey. Chris Davis waiting on deck. Nobody out here in the top half of the third inning. Fly ball to center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. moves over to right center to make the catch. Bluffing as if he was tagging up was Markakis, and Bradley showing off a good throw from center field to third base.
Jackie Bradley not that deep enough for Markakis to tag up. He is tagging, and it's a good thing he didn't go, because this throw goes all the way in the air from Bradley Jr. to third base, and they would have been waiting for Markakis.
So Markakis remains at second base. 1 out. Chris Davis, the batter. Red Sox into a shift on the right side, per usual on Davis, and he will take ball one. Davis grounded out to the shortstop, Xander Bogaerts, in this shift alignment in the first inning. Right around the bag at second. Grounds this one foul outside of first. We'll catch the Red Sox report on Tuesday at 5:30. See the behind-the-scenes planning and lead up to the 2013 World Series ring presentation and the 2014 home opener. From the creation of the rings in Montreal to the ceremony rehearsals at Fenway, and even a trip to the White House. Don't miss the Red Sox report opening day, Tuesday at 5:30 and Wednesday at 2:30. Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and 2 strikes now to Davis.
Challenge time that time from Lackey. Fastball against the power hitter, throws it by him.
One-two sprayed foul off to the left. Davis, who had the 53 home runs a year ago, has 1 so far this season. Orioles participating in their 15th game of the year. Buck Showalter's team coming in at 7-7 on the season so far. Down and in, 2-2. And Lackey calling out Brzezinski again. Davis climbing back in the box with a count of 2-2. Bouncing in, blocked by Brzezinski. Nicely done that time. No advance for Markakis.
Slide it directly down in the dirt, and looks like it hit the shin guard of A.J. Brzezinski.
Framed by Brzezinski, but it's ball 4. And down to first base goes Davis. That's the second walk given up by Lackey of the night.
Little bend to the back by Lackey after that last pitch. He thought he had the outside corner with the pitch, but not getting the call. A little bit outside, not by very much.
Two on, one away, a run in for Baltimore. Adam Jones, the batter, he singled and stole a base in the first inning. It's a ground ball, and diving to his left is Holt from his knee. Throws late, and everybody is safe. Base is now loaded for Baltimore. Oh, the good diving play. Couldn't get much on the throw, though, from his knees, and it is a bases loaded, 1-out situation now.
And once you get down to the knees, he was scrambling around a little bit to try to get that ball out of the glove. You could see right there he had trouble getting that throwing hand into the glove. Once he did, it was too late at second base. Good hustle to beat that play at second base.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Nelson Cruz, the batter. And a liner to right field. That's going to get in for a base hit. From third base comes Markakis. Chris Davis being waved around. It is cut off. 2 more runs for the Orioles, who take a 4-0 lead here in the third inning.
Well, you mentioned that Don Jones was very aggressive against the Red Sox in that series in Baltimore, and right here jumps on the first fastball. That was Cruz, excuse me. jumping on the first fastball.
So 2 on here with 1 out in the inning, 3 runs in, and Matt Wieters the batter. Wieters walked in the second and takes a pitch inside for ball 1. That's a strike. 1-1. 7th batter that John Lackey has had to face here in the 3rd inning. Fly ball to right, playable for Nava. In and to his right. Makes the catch and fires back into second base. With now 2 down in the inning. Win up to $50,000 instantly, plus chances to win Ultimate Red Sox ticket packages, official memorabilia, and even more cash in the new $2 Red Sox instant scratch ticket from the Mass State Lottery. Visit masslottery.com for details. 2 down in the 3rd inning. J.J. Hardy gets a second look tonight at John Lackey. Hardy flied out to center field in the 2nd inning. Fly ball to left field. Sizemore makes his way in. Sizemore makes the catch and ends the inning, but it is a 3-run inning in the top of the 3rd for Baltimore. 4-0 Baltimore lead.
With tonight's poll question, there are no answers because what's your favorite thing about Fenway Park? Sox 1 for the Fenway Frank. Sox 2, the Green Monster. Sox 3, the Pesky Pole. Sox 4, Sweet Caroline. Text your answer to 536-536. Message help if you need it. Text message and data rates may apply. Visit NESN.com/terms for all the legal stuff.
All right, it's on to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Red Sox have work to do, trailing 4-0 now to Baltimore. Orioles getting a run in the first, 3 in the 3rd.
If I was to make a vote on that, I'd have to vote for the Green Monster.
I'm with you on that. The hot dogs aren't bad, though, either. They're right behind that, I'd say. Big Fenway Frank fan. certainly have my fair share of them during the course of the season.
Well, we both have, Don.
1-1 pitch to Daniel Nava. Strike over the inside corner. Some Fenway Franks right there. Sweet Caroline is right there. 1-2 pitch down the right field line, foul. Pesky pole. One-two from Tillman is fouled back. Still 1-2. The Red Sox have had their chances. A 2-out walk in the first. Did not advance Pedroia. Left a base runner in the first inning. Then the base is loaded with 1 out in the second and could not score. Strikeout of Brock Holt, to fly out for Grady Sizemore. And the Red Sox have left 4 men on through the first 2 innings. 1-2. Down and into Nava. Red Sox have 2 hits. Mike Karp a single. Jackie Bradley Jr. a single in this game. Nava pops it up left side. Jonathan Scope into foul ground. And the Orioles third baseman puts it away for the first out of the 3rd inning. And cheer on our marathon runners with free runner rally cards available at select Dunkin' Donuts locations along the marathon route. And it's in this Sunday's Boston Globe. One out here in the 3rd inning with Dustin Pedroia coming up. Did you get a look at the weather forecast over the weekend at all, Jerry?
I haven't seen it yet. No,
I was wondering about the conditions for Monday.
Yeah, I don't know. I think tomorrow's supposed to warm up a little bit, quite a bit.
Pedroia fouls this back, and it's a ball and a strike.
Of course, if you're coming to Fenway this weekend, check your starting times. Tomorrow's a 1:30 start. A 7 o'clock Sunday night start, ESPN game. And then, of course, the 11 o'clock start on Marathon Monday.
Partly cloudy and 64 for Monday. To left, Delman Young back to make the catch in front of the track for the 2nd out.
Actually, 64 is a little bit warm for the runners.
One, 2 down here in the 3rd inning. 4 in a row retired by Chris Tillman. Mike Napoli struck out swinging in the 1st inning. 1 of 3 Ks for Chris Tillman. Runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Orioles. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for the Red Sox. Batting here in the home half of the 3rd inning with 2 outs. In there for a strike, 2-1. John Lackey giving up a run in the first, 3 in the 3rd. And Lackey's thrown 55 pitches through the first 3 innings in tonight's game. Full count now. Copley batting now with Mike Karp on deck here in the bottom of the third. Popped up, foul ground as down from first comes Davis. He'll get there, and he makes the catch. It ends the inning. Red Sox are down in order. It's a 4-0 Orioles lead. We'll get you my view when we come back. To the top half of the fourth inning. Steve Lombardozzi leading it off here for the O's. Lombardozzi taking strike one from John Lackey. Struck out against Lackey in the second inning. Ground ball down the first baseline, a foul ball as Karp retrieves it. 0-2 now to Lombardozzi. Orioles getting a run in the first and 3 in the third. Take a 4-0 advantage so far tonight. They sent 8 men to bat in the third inning, scoring 3 times. Swinging a foul tip held onto by A.J. Pierzynski for strike 3. Second time he's got Lombardozzi. 4th K for Lackey. Sign up for Eastern Free Checking and receive a free house cleaning courtesy of Maypro. Free checking and a dust-free home. Another neat idea from Eastern Bank. We're here, your first. Details at easternbank.com/clean. 1 out in the 4th inning here at Fenway Park. Jonathan Scope reached on the infield hit in the 3rd inning. Came around to score the second Orioles run. Quickly down 0-2. Scored all the way from first base on the Nick Markakis double in the 3rd inning. 60th pitch for John Lackey. And it's a fly ball to right field, sending Nava back. 2 down in the inning. Well, tonight, Jerry, my view is from where we sit every day here at home. Press conference for John Farrell inside the press room. John leaves, and you only get to see where John normally talks. So today we give you the view of what the rest of the room looks like as that press conference breaks up. It is not a large room, but plenty of space in there for everybody working, all the writers and TV members. You see the cameras in the back and kind of the view of the Red Sox press conference room. There's a liner to right at Nava for the out that ends the inning. 1, 2, 3, 4th for Lackey, a 4-0 Baltimore lead. minimum balance or monthly fees. It's why at Eastern Bank, here you're first. Cool night tonight at Fenway Park, and the bats for the Red Sox have been a little on the cool side so far. Baltimore on top 4-0 to the bottom of the 4th inning. Mike Carp will try to heat up the Red Sox offense. Carp's got 1 of 2 Boston hits tonight off Chris Tillman. His single to center field in the 2nd inning.
Don, I didn't want to ignore your view today, but we had a very quick third out to the inning, and that's where it all happens, right in that room. Right after that meeting, that's where we decide what the open's going to be for the night. That's where we get our information from the manager prior to a game.
It's right here. It's right when he leaves. That's when our meeting starts.
Our meeting starts immediately after that.
Jim DeDono is going to come into your screen right here, the producer. Now, he's the key to the meeting, and he's about to show up there before we cut away. He arrives, it means it's time to talk. It's time to get down to business and plan our night. Figure out the storylines, what moves have been made. That's where it all happens about 4:15 every day. And there's a pitch for a swing and a miss, because really we don't know anything to that point. We found out within that meeting, for instance, today that Brock Holt had returned to the Red Sox and that Ryan Roberts had been designated for assignment. Those kinds of things come out late in the afternoon. And Holt back with the Red Sox and at third base tonight. 3-2 in the air to left. Delmon Young going back. It's twisted around and it's off the scoreboard. Kicks to Adam Jones, who fires back in towards second, and safe at second base with his 2nd hit of the night is Mike Carp.
Mike Carp starting to heat it up. Had a base hit in that Chicago series as a pinch hitter, 2 for 2 tonight. Delmon Young gets himself in real close to that wall. The ball's going to get by him as it caroms off the wall. Backed up by Adam Jones and into second base with the leadoff double is Carp. See how close Jones is to that wall. He wasn't quite sure whether he was going to be able to make a play on that or not. And the center field alertly backing him up.
So Carp's 2 for 2 aboard at second base as Xander Bogaerts stands in. Breaks up a string of 5 in a row retired by Chris Tillman. Outside for ball 1. Victorino worked out of the club today, headed to Pawtucket for tomorrow. Popped up from third comes Scope down the line, and he puts it away for the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning. So Bogaerts retired, Carp still at second base, and A.J. Brzezinski coming up. A little bit about AJ. Fair place that he's been. South Africa. Wants to go to Australia. Dumb and Dumber. We have seen a lot of guys choose that. Jimmy Buffett. Anything fast food. AJ standing in for the 2nd time tonight. He flied to right in the 2nd inning. Got a great reception by the White Sox fans in his first at bat in game 1 of the series in Chicago after his tenure there. Year removed, of course, with Texas in between. And part of that White Sox championship team. Back in 05. Fouled back, 1-1. Well, for a delicious cup of coffee at the office, try W.B. Mason's coffee service featuring the Keurig coffee system with Green Mountain Coffee. Tillman trying to work his way around a leadoff double. He's got Bogaerts to pop out now. Count of 1-1 to A.J. Brzezinski. 70th pitch for Tillman. And it's a ball, 2-1. A little pop-up sending Hardy back to the outfield grass, and that's out number 2. Frustrated A.J. Pierzynski 0 for 2 in this game. 2 down.
That's generally what happens after a frustrating at bat. That batter goes right down the runway. See Pierzynski throwing the bat down and still angry after that at bat and heads right down the runway.
2 down for Jackie Bradley Jr. Bradley singled to right field in the second inning. 1 for 1 of the game. 1 of 3 Red Sox hits off Chris Tillman. Two and 0. And there for strike 2 and 1. Red Sox threatened in the second inning, and the bases loaded, 1 out, but Tillman pitched his way out of it, getting Holt and Sizemore. Bradley jumps back out of the way. 3 and 1. He retired 5 in a row before giving up the leadoff double to Mike Carp. And you got Bogarts and Pierzynski now behind Bradley. All 40 walks Jackie, as that is the 3rd walk given up by Tillman. Well, tomorrow morning at 9, check out Dining Playbook with Billy Constant and Jenny Johnson for the show that combines New England's love of the game with its passion for food. This week's episode features the best marathon route restaurants, marathon training with an Olympian, and Patriots great Teddy Bruschi. Dining Playbook tomorrow morning at 9.
Now you're going to be taping something coming up next week.
Yes, I believe Wednesday is the day.
Bring all your utensils and all your food and all that to a studio and cook up a nice meal, Don.
That's the plan.
Yeah, looking forward to that. You'll be taping what, during the Yankees series?
Yes, Wednesday.
So you'll probably be out next week, right?
I don't know. I don't know how many weeks in advance they do each show. I'm not sure. But I will get you a copy, I promise.
Oh, I watch it.
2 on, 2 down. Brock Holt down to the count here, 0-1. You've already been on the show, correct?
Yeah.
Did you make anything, or you just watched other people make the food?
No, I had it made.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Carp's at second. Bradley at first. 2 down here in the 4th inning. A little bit low. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
And changeup has been very, very effective for Tillman in the game. He's basically just been fastball, changeup with a couple of curveballs mixed in.
Line foul. Look out. Just beyond the Orioles dugout down the third base line. The photographer's well is still looking for the ball down there.
There's a lot of stuff down there. There's a lot of stuff that's been there a lot of years. An Oriole fan has an autograph on his cap and a baseball. What a day.
Holt grounds it foul now over towards the Red Sox dugout, and it hangs it 2-2. Fouled off again, back into the seats. It's time now for the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag NESN fan photo for a chance to be shown in our broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Kevin J. Barnes and an inflatable Wally. I don't think I've ever seen an inflatable Wally.
No, that's the first one I've seen.
That's great. Two on, two down. Brock Holt fouled off a bevy of pitches. Now breaks his bat, squibs one down the third baseline. It will trickle foul.
Now Tillman knew this ball was going to go foul. He just waits for it, gets down that line and waits for it to roll into foul territory. Hit the lip of the grass in the dirt and then quickly went foul. Well, Tillman's pitched some tough games against the Red Sox throughout his career.
Two on, two down. A good at bat here for Holt out of the number 9 spot in his return to Boston. 9th pitch of the at bat, and it's a ground ball foul. Red Sox trailing 4-0, trying to get something done here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Carp at second, Bradley Jr. at first, 2 down. Two-two pitch to Holt. And a base hit into center field for Brock Holt. Carp being waved around. Throw is going to be cut off, and the Red Sox are on the board. Nice at bat for Brock Holt, who drives in the Red Sox first run of the night.
Well, the Red Sox were looking for a little offense from the bottom of the lineup, and this particular time around they get a walk from Bradley Jr. Then after a tough at bat, as Don mentioned, the base hit by Brock Holt right back up the middle. And the Red Sox get on the board, so it's a 3-run game, 4-1. Mike Carp coming around, giving the Red Sox the first run of the night.
Now Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, coming out here to talk to Tillman. Orioles do not have any action in their pen yet. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, never forgets that before you're a patient, you're a person. Beth Israel Deaconess, human first. Learn more at bidmc.org/human first. 2 outs in the 4th inning. Runners at first and third. A run in for Boston. And Grady Sizemore, the batter. He is 0 for 2. Sizemore grounding back to the mound in the first, flying out to center in the second. That's with Bradley Jr. at third, Brock Holt at first base. Fouled off Wieters, 1-1.
A cut fastball that time from Tillman. First time he's pulled that out of the bag of tricks tonight.
This is his 30th pitch of the inning. This has been the hardest he has had to work tonight. Sizemore lifts the fly ball down the left field line. Delmon Young's got a long run. Heads over and will not have a play. Lands in the seats about a row deep.
Delmon Young knows that when you get over to that foul line, there is very little room till you run into the wall.
A little bit low, and it's 2-2. Red Sox getting their first run of the game here in the fourth inning. Carp led off with a double. Ends up scoring on an RBI single by Brock Holt. 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Sizemore strikes out to end the inning. We'll find out who the traveling man is when we come back to Fenway. Get the swing of baseball season. Download the Red Sox schedule now. Visit NESN.com/schedule to import the 2014 schedule directly into your favorite desktop, web, or mobile calendar program. It's a 4-1 Baltimore lead as we head to the top of the fifth inning. Delmon Young 0 for 2 so far as he has struck out and flied out. There's a base hit through the left side into left field. Base hit for Delmon Young. For Baltimore, their 7th hit of the game off John Lackey.
And Delman Young now with a 6-game hitting streak gets the curveball that time from Lackey and hits it hard by Bogarts, the shortstop. Wide open hole there between short and third, as you can see, and Delman Young finds it with the hard ground ball.
Lead runner on for Baltimore. For the 4th time in 5 innings, they've had the lead man on. Now Chris Davis. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. Davis grounded to short in the 1st inning, walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Oh, and 2.
That one was definitely a strike.
Lackey coming in with a record of 2-1, a 3.86 earned run average. 4th start of the year. Away, ball 1.
Now, Lackey would have liked to have had this pitch, but it looks like it's just a little bit off the outside corner.
Strike 3 call. Able to get Davis. 5th strikeout for John Lackey of the night. First out of the 5th.
Right back to the corner goes Lackey, and this time brings it in just about a ½ inch. And gets the strike call. 3rd and 4 pitches almost identical. You see that 4th pitch bringing it in just a little bit. Enough to get the strike.
Mika Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. 1 out in the 5th inning for Adam Jones. 2 for 2. Both infield hits. 1 to short, 1 to third. And he has driven in a run. As he takes strike 1. Ball foul off to the right as Carp gives chase, but it's out of play. Outfield straight away. 1 out, 1 on here on Adam Jones. And a swing and a miss. Lackey with back-to-back strikeouts. 6 in all, 2 down. Let's check in with Gary Streisky.
Yeah, guys, so there's no magic carpet ride to get the players here any quicker when they get the call up. Brock Holt was actually hanging out in his apartment down in Pawtucket when he got the call. Earlier this afternoon, he told me before the game, after he got the call, he had to head to the ballpark, get a couple things, and then, well, head north. He drove himself, and ball players are just like us. He actually got caught in traffic on his way up here. Who doesn't, though, in New England on a Friday afternoon? Nevertheless, though, we made it here in an hour and a half. Was a little bit late, though. He missed his 4:50 batting practice session outside here at Fenway Park. Was able to take some cuts inside the park, but he's here in one piece with no speeding tickets to speak of.
Well, he is here and has produced tonight his first game back, an RBI single in the 4th inning. Breaking ball missing down low as the count now 2-0. Nelson Cruz with an RBI single in the 3rd inning, actually a 2-run single in the 3rd inning. Lackey giving up the leadoff single to Young, but he has come back to get Davis and Jones back-to-back on strikeouts. Two-one to Nelson Cruz. Strike 2 right on the corner.
That's where the fastballs have been in this inning for John Lackey. Right on the corner, inside corner, outside corner.
Low and away, and a full count now. Four runs, 7 hits, no errors for Baltimore. Run, 4 hits, no errors for Boston. Runner goes. Cruz will not go around. He'll head down to first base on the walk. That is the 3rd walk given up by John Lackey. And the Orioles now have runners at first and second with 2 down.
And Lackey taking a long look at that first base umpire Carlson on this no call, and it looks like the correct call.
Well, Matt Wieters coming up here for Baltimore. He has walked and fly to right. In the dirt, Pierzynski blocks it. No advance for the base runners.
Pierzynski pushing this ball out toward the infield. And the runners have to remain at first and second base. Lackey trying to snap off that breaking ball, bouncing it.
On the ground, right side. Carp to the backhand, can't get it, and it gets into right field. Delman Young coming around from second base will score, and to third goes Nelson Cruz. The Orioles grab another run and take a 5-1 lead. That one gets underneath Carp on the right side and finds its way into right field. The Orioles find themselves with another run.
Yeah, it looked like he was at least going to knock this ball down. He was in position to do so, but somehow the ball finds its way underneath Mike Carp. Couple of steps to his right, puts the glove down, but the ball underneath the glove and into right field. A little bit late getting that glove down in a backhand position.
So first and third, and the Red Sox deficit 4 runs again. J.J. Hardy takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Was ruled a hit, and the 8th hit of the ball game for Baltimore. Leaders picking up an RBI. Hardy's 0 for 2. He's fly to center and fly to left. On the outside corner, 2-1. Cruz at third base, Wieters at first base. Call the ball, same general spot, 3-1.
And just about the exact same spot as the pitch that was called to strike previous.
This is lined into left field for a base hit. Nelson Cruz coming in to score. Baltimore takes a 6-1 lead. A 2-out RBI single for J.J. Hardy. And Baltimore has grabbed a pair of runs here in the inning, and this will bring out Juan Nieves.
And get some action going down in the Red Sox bullpen. Looks like the slide of that time that stays inside. They wanted that ball down and away. You can see Pierzynski set up outside, but instead it stays inside, and Hardy with a line drive base hit to left field. Up over the leap of Brock Hole at third base.
John Lackey trying to get out of this 5th inning as Burt Badenhop now up in the Boston pen. First reliever we have seen warming in the pen tonight for Boston. Steve Lombardozzi, the batter. Lackey has enjoyed success against him tonight, striking him out twice. Once in the 2nd and then again in the 4th inning. A little bit high, 2-0. On the ground to the end of the Red Sox dugout, beyond it. Photographers well. Well, on Sunday's All New Ultimate Red Sox show presented by AAA, take a look back on the anniversary of the marathon tragedy with the Watertown Police. And John Farrell talks with TC on the field at Fenway Park. Catch all that and more on the Ultimate Red Sox show, hosted by Tom Caron, Sunday at 4. 2-1 pitch, sliced foul off to the left. Pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. Lackey 4 2/3, 9 hits and 6 runs. Thrown 87 pitches in his outing. Lackey had given up 6 runs in his last outing in 5 2/3 innings at New York against the Yankees.
And also 4 home runs in the game against the Yankees.
Lombardozzi pops it up left side of the infield. Shortstop Xander Bogaerts puts it away, but the Orioles add a pair of runs and take a 6-1 lead. Nava, Pedroia, and Napoli coming up. Ticket, the official ticket partner of the Boston Red Sox. Well, the Orioles tag on 2 more runs to John Lackey's total. And Lackey had a total of 89 pitches through the first 5 innings. Red Sox trailing by 5. As the Orioles have a 6-1 lead. Daniel Nava takes strike 1 from Chris Tillman. Nava's 0 for 2. He has struck out and fouled out. Tomorrow will be Felix Doubront matched up against Bud Norris in Game 2 of the series. We'll play day baseball here tomorrow. Tapper foul over by the Boston dugout. That's been a frustrating night for John Lackey so far. Orioles got a run in the first, 3 in the third, and then 2 in the fifth. 1-2 pitch. Nava twists out of the way, kind of late to reacting to that pitch.
That fastball up and in to Daniel Nava, and you see how he kind of strides into the baseball in a late reaction to get out of the way of that up and in fastball.
Fans, you can test your Red Sox IQ right now with the MLB Preplay mobile app. Download for free and start predicting every at-bat of every Red Sox game all season. Compete one-on-one with other Red Sox fans for a chance to win the Preplay Triple Crown. Daniel Nava 0 for 2 in the game tonight. Swings at the 2-2 and sends it out to left. Young is back, and it's over his head. One hops the wall. Gets it back into second base, and Nava will be safe at second.
First, it looked like Delman Young was going to make this play out in left field, and then the ball just got up over his head. Ball struck pretty well here by Nava to the opposite field, but I thought that Young was going to get to it. It short hops to left field wall, and then a very close play at second base as Nava goes in head first, able to keep the hand on the bag, and safe at second base in scoring position. So easy for that hand to come off the bag, especially when that glove is applied.
So leadoff double here in the 5th inning. Now Pedroia takes a pitch up high for ball 1. Dustin has walked and lined out to left field. Red Sox have left 6 men on base through the first 4 innings and have scored only 1 run. That came in the 4th inning after a leadoff double by Carp. Now leadoff double by Nava here in the 5th. Two and 0. Pitch number 100 coming up here for Chris Tillman of the night. That's a strike. 2-1. Tillman so far this season on the road away from Camden Yards 1-0 with a 1.08 earned run average coming in. It was 8-4 last year on the road. And a strike over the outside corner that evens the count at 2-2.
Very few pitches down the middle of the plate from Tillman. He's on the corners quite a bit. That fastball in the outside corner to Pedroia.
To right center field for Pedroia, and it's in for a base hit. Nava being waved around. He will score the second run of the night for Boston. Dustin Pedroia drives it in.
Al Pedroia going the other way, picking up his second RBI of the season. In a hardline drive last time up, this time he drops it out in front of Nick Markakis in right field. Daniel Nava, who had the leadoff double, comes around to score, and a 6-2 ball game.
Runner at first base, a run in. Mike Napoli, the batter, as Tillman works here in the 5th inning. There's strike 1. Napoli has struck out and fouled out in 2 at-bats tonight. Still taping the ring finger with his middle finger after the dislocation of the ring finger in Game 1 of the series in Chicago. He taped it for last night's game, still taped for tonight. And Mattis up in the pen for the Orioles. Napoli hits a high fly ball to left center field. Delman Young waiting for it to come down. It does for the first out of the inning. Pedroia back to the bag at first. Ace Ticket, the official Red Sox ticket partner, has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway, all with a 200% guarantee. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS.
Now, Tillman has used more cutters as he's got to the middle part of this ball game, but basically it was fastball changeup early with a couple of curveballs. Now he's mixed in that cut fastball. That last pitch to Napoli, a cutter.
One down, Pedroia at first base. Mike Karp, the batter. He has enjoyed success tonight against Tillman. Tillman working here with 1 out in the 5th. 6 hits, the 2 runs, a run in the 4th, a run here in the 5th. He's walked 3, struck out 4, and up over 100 pitches. It's brought to you by Eastern Lexus. There's a pop-up. Third baseman Jonathan Scope in foul ground makes the catch for the 2nd out. So Karp retired for the first time tonight. He had singled and doubled before popping out to the third baseman Scope. Here is Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts walked in the 2nd, popped out to 3rd in the 4th. Outside low, 2-0. High for ball 3, 3-0. Tillman has walked 3. And struck out 4 in his outing so far tonight, with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Trying to get through the 5th to make himself eligible for victory here tonight. And he comes in 1-1 on the year with a 0.94 earned run average and a 4-pitch walk here to Xander Bogaerts. So now 4 walks given up by Tillman. Last thing Buck Showalter wants to see here with a 4-run lead is for Tillman to start walking people.
And the Red Sox, at least, I mean, they are trailing this game by 4 runs, but they're going to have Tillman out of the game after 5 innings. See if they can do anything at all against the Oriole bullpen.
A.J. Pierzynski batting for the 3rd time tonight. Is fly to right, popped out to short, 0 for 2. And a foul back into the grandstand sharply. Well, tonight's suits are designed by Joseph Aboud, custom made in the USA from fine Italian fabrics. Now available at Men's Warehouse. To center field, Adam Jones coming in, but it's going to fall in. From second base comes Dustin Pedroia. He'll score the Red Sox third run, and it's now 6-3 as A.J. Pierzynski is an RBI single.
Now Pierzynski, who was so frustrated after his last at bat, this time bloops one out in front of Adam Jones in center field. Pierzynski picks up RBI number 6 on the season with this base hit. And the Red Sox now trail it by 3.
Two on, two down, 2 runs in, and Jackie Bradley Jr. coming up. Singled in the second inning, walked in the fourth inning. In the dirt for ball 1. Adam Jones, center fielder, over towards right center field.
Cake is very shallow in right field.
Tillman falling behind 2-0. That pitch count up there now, 115 pitches. Ball 3, 3-0. Seventh member of the Red Sox that Tillman has had to face here in the 5th inning. Trying to get through the 5th. He's already allowed 2 Boston runs here in the 5th inning. It's Bogaerts at second, Pierzynski at first. Bradley takes strike 1. Brock Holt waiting on deck. Swinging a foul tip for strike 2.
Well, that swing designed to try to tie this ball game up by Jackie Bradley, but fouls it off right into the glove of Matt Wieters.
Runners will get a start here with a full count and 2 down. Bradley fouls it off to the left, out of play. Again, the 3-2 pitch. Bradley will get a piece of it and foul it off. '30th pitch of the inning coming here for Chris Tillman. That'll be his last batter. 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And a foul off to the left, out of play. Xander Bogaerts back to second. A.J. Pierzynski back to first. It's already been a 2-run 5th inning here for the Red Sox. Bradley strikes out, and that ends the inning. But the Red Sox do get a pair of runs in the inning, get a little closer. 6-3 Baltimore. 6-3, Baltimore on top of Boston here as we head to the top half of the 6th inning. John Lackey back on the mound. Jonathan Schoop to lead it off here for the Orioles. And a first pitch strike from John Lackey. Schoop has singled and flied to right. Action in the Red Sox bullpen. Andrew Miller is up in the pen. The Red Sox getting 2 runs back in the bottom of the 5th inning off Tillman. 122 pitches tonight for Tillman through 5 innings. There's a little bloop to center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. coming in, and he won't have a play. It is picked actually by Bogaerts heading out there, the shortstop, and it's a base hit for Schoop, his 2nd hit of the night.
It's almost like Jackie Bradley and Bogaerts thought they may collide on that, and Bradley goes into a slide in the outfield. The ball just drops between them for the leadoff base hit. There's Bradley going into that slide as he sees Bogaerts come out trying to make the play.
So leadoff base hit here for Schoop. 5 out of 6 innings now. The Orioles have had the lead runner on, as they do here in the 6th inning. There is Nick Markakis. He's got a pair of doubles, as to the backhand that time goes Pierzynski. In the air to shallow left. Sizemore coming in. And Grady will make the catch for the first out of the 6th inning. Back to first goes Schoop with 1 out in the inning. So Schoop at first, 1 out, and Delman Young, the batter, he is struck out, fly to center and singled. Came around to score the 5th Orioles run of the night. Throw to first and back to the bag is Schoop. The lead was not terribly large. Lackey wanted that, didn't get it. That's a strike. 1-1. Fourth outing of the year for John Lackey. Won the first 2 and the first game against these Orioles. A 6-inning effort, giving up 2 runs in that win. And then at home against Texas for losing last time out at New York. Just want to get away from AJ. Didn't know where it was initially. And up to second base goes Jonathan Schoop. Pierzynski was looking in the air, was on the ground in behind him.
Yeah, he tried to backhand the ball, and then once he did that, he had no idea where the ball had gone. Here's the backhanded attempt. Looked straight up. He thought it popped up in the air, but just rolling down toward his left. Backhands it right off the heel of the glove, and he thought it went straight up in the air.
High for ball 3. 3-1. 100th pitch coming up here for John Lackey with 1 out in the 6th inning. Ball 4, and he walks Delman Young. That's the 4th walk given up tonight by Lackey, and that will be the last batter that he faces. Now comes John Farrell. He's had Burke Badenhop and Andrew Miller warming in the pen. John Lackey here leaves with 1 out in the 6th inning. Baltimore on top 6-3. Pitching change from Fenway. Responsible for the 2 men on for the Orioles as Chris Davis stands in. Let's scope at second base. Young at first, and a swing and a foul tip at the dish. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. And Andrew Miller into the game for Boston after Lackey went 5 1/3. His 8th appearance. 1-0 with a 1.50 earned run average. Opponent's hitting at 150 against Miller. As part of that lengthy game, the 14-inning game on Wednesday, threw a season high 2 scoreless innings on Wednesday. 1 hit, 3 strikeouts in those 2 innings. And he's on here to face the power hitting lefty Chris Davis. Pops it up, foul, backing out of play. 1-2. Davis 0 for 5 in his career against Andrew Miller.
Now 2 strikes. See if Miller tries to go to the breaking ball, that sweeping breaking ball to get him out. Back to the fastball, but away.
Swing and a miss. Goes to the breaking ball to get him, though, and that is out number 2 as Miller strikes out Davis.
That's the one I thought he was going to feature on the pitch previous to that. He comes back to the breaking ball and picks up the strikeout. That pitch there is just about unhittable for a left-handed hitter.
So 2 down, runners at first and second. Adam Jones has singled twice and struck out. He's driven in a run. Did he go? No, says Mark Carlson. A lot of success for Jones against Miller. You saw just 1 for 8. In there for a strike, 1-1. Batters hitting at just 150 against Andrew Miller. As a ground ball down the third baseline is a foul ball. Retrieved by Holt. Well, if you're a Red Sox and Bruins fan, but you're not following NESN on Twitter, you're missing out on the latest game updates, breaking news, and programming alerts. Follow us on Twitter and let all things Red Sox and Bruins come to you. Follow NESN at twitter.com/NESN. Field straight away here with 2 down, runners at first and second. Adam Jones waiting on a 1-2 pitch. Up and away, 2-2. On the ground up the middle. Pedroia to second base for the 4th shot that ends the inning. We are through 5 1/2. It is 6-3 Baltimore. FW Webb distributes HVAC, building controls, and refrigeration equipment for facilities throughout the Northeast. Wow, bet you didn't know FW Webb did that. More on this proud Boston Red Sox sponsor. Check out fwweb.com. Six to 3. The Orioles on top of the Red Sox. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And Brock Holt leading it off here for Boston. The pitcher on for the Orioles as Brian Mattis comes into the game for Baltimore. After 5 innings tonight from Chris Tillman. 7th appearance from Mattis. 1-0 with a 7.36 earned run average. He has walked more than he struck out. Opponents hitting at .286 against Mattis. Red Sox hoping to get to the Baltimore bullpen. Tillman goes 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them coming in the 5th.
Not quite as effective tonight, Don, as we've seen him in the past against the Red Sox, but still leads with a 3-run lead.
Chance for his 2nd win of the year. Line to right. Markakis is there to make the catch about chest high for the first out of the inning. So 1 out in the 6th, and Grady Sizemore coming up. But first, a look at the list. And you can weigh in at hashtag NESSENList with your thoughts, but best father and son combos. Now, you played with Bobby Bonds, correct?
Yes, I did. And I would have to go with that combination of Barry and Bobby Bonds.
One out in the 6th inning. Grady Sizemore, the batter. Plus at second base here tonight for the Orioles, Steve Lombardozzi, whose dad, Steve Lombardozzi, longtime major leaguer as well, and part of the championship team with the Minnesota Twins. The 0-1 pitch is going to miss. Ball and a strike. That's a tough one because the Griffeys are pretty good.
Yes, yeah, not bad.
Okay.
Well, that's a pretty impressive list.
Line into right field and a base hit for Grady Sizemore. Markakis over to play it. Sizemore's got a 1-out single, his first hit of the night. So 1 out, 1 on, and Daniel Nava coming up. Nava doubled in the 5th inning, came around to score the Red Sox 2nd run. Boston trying to take advantage of this Orioles pen. Baltimore out hitting the Red Sox 10-8. As the Sox coming to bat here in the 6th inning, just pick up a hit from Sizemore. In there for strike 1. That is one of 2 lefties that Buck Showalter has at his disposal in the bullpen. 5 right-handers, 2 lefties in the pen out there, and Mattis first into the game out of the pen. There is strike 2.
Both times keeping that fastball away from Daniel Nava.
Nava, very defensive swing, strikes out for the 2nd out of the 6th inning.
Something off speed that time. Looks like it might have been a slider down in the dirt that Nava will chase. Either a slider or a changeup, but it looked like it had a little spin on it like a slider.
Two down, runner at first, and Dustin Pedroia, the batter. Pedroia's been aboard twice, a walk and a single. Last time up, drove in a run, picked up his 2nd RBI of the year. David Ortiz available on the bench tonight for the Red Sox. Not in the starting lineup tonight, a scheduled day off. Mike Napoli waiting on deck with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Last year, Mattis earning career highs, several categories last season. Stranded 32 of 37 inherited runners. Likes to come into games with men on. 2-1 pitch is going to miss inside. Sizemore, the good size lead at first with 2 down here in the 6th inning. Here's a 3-1 to Pedroia. And Dustin, it's on the ground to third base. Scope will go to second for the force out that ends the inning. We are through 6 from Fenway, 6-3 Baltimore. WB Mason carries the products you need to clean your business. WB Mason now specializes in delivering an all-star selection of janitorial supplies same day. Now 6-3 Baltimore on top of Boston as Nelson Cruz leads it off. The pitcher for the Red Sox is Burke Badenhop, who misses high and tight. Badenhop, third arm used by the Red Sox tonight, and his 7th overall appearance. 0-2, the 7.36 earned run average. Cruz will take the strike. Badenhop getting his first save of the season. 4th career save on Wednesday in Chicago as he finished off the game in that 14-inning game. This ground ball to shortstop. Bogarts throws to first for the first out of the 7th inning. It's time for a Toyota game break. Let's get a Bruins update with Tom Caron. TC. All right, Tom, thanks very much. Wild one from the Garden right out of the gate.
That answers my question. I had a question if we had a back and forth.
What was your question going to be?
I was going to say, is it great goaltending in this scoreless game, or is it just sputtering offenses? Apparently it's great goaltending.
Yes, sounds like it. Both sides.
So there goes my question for the playoffs.
Matt Wieters hits a high fly ball to right field. Nava coming in. 2 down in the 7th inning. The game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. Tillman, the starter and pitcher of record right now for the Orioles, went 5 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. John Lackey on the hook at the moment. 5 1/3, 10 hits and 6 runs for his second straight outing. And tonight for the Orioles, they have banged out a total of 10 hits in the game. 2 outs in the 7th for J.J. Hardy. He takes strike 1. Hardy has fly to center, fly to left, and singled to drive in a run in the 5th inning. Don't you usually ask something about back checking? That's usually your standard.
Are they back checking tonight? Are they scanning their lanes? I told you before, I have nothing when it comes to asking questions about a hockey game except that I enjoy them.
This is through the right side into right field. A base hit for J.J. Hardy. His second hit of the night. Well, for every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 donation once again this season. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. 2 down in the 7th inning. J.J. Hardy at first base. And Steve Lombardozzi, the batter. 0 for 3 game for him. He has struck out twice and popped to short. Down and in, 2-0. Badenhop has averaged 58 appearances over the last 4 seasons since 2010. Doing a career high 66 games for Tampa Bay in 2012, the year before last. High strike call, 2-1. Two and 2. Two. He is on the ground left side and through into left field, a base hit. Lombardozzi singles here. The Orioles have put together back-to-back hits with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
Yeah, 2 hitters in a row going to the opposite field. Hardy with a base hit to right field. Lombardozzi now going to the opposite field with the ground ball for a base hit. Taking that sinker ball from Badenhop and going the other way with it.
Two on, 2 down. Jonathan Scope coming up. He is 2 for 3. Orioles now have 12 hits in the game. Everybody's got a hit with the exception of Chris Davis. But Davis got on back in the 3rd inning with a walk, and he scored a run. Scope will line this to left field. Down the left field line. Hardy coming around from second. He will score. In the second with an RBI double goes Jonathan Scope, and Baltimore's on top 7-3. All this with 2 outs in the inning.
Scope is a very aggressive hitter. Picks up his 3rd hit of the night. And this is a big one to drive in 2 runs. Talk about aggressive. He has not walked yet this season. Swings at a lot of first pitches. He has struck out 13 times. But right now with these 2 RBIs, picks up his 7th and 8th.
So 2 down in the inning, and Nick Markakis coming up. Markakis with 2 doubles in the game. Doubled in the 1st and in the 3rd. Jumps back out of the way of a pitch inside.
I think I gave the Orioles an extra run there. Only 1 run coming across.
Two and 0. Badenhop got 2 quick outs in Cruz and Wieters, but 3 straight hits and a run here for the O's. Three and 0.
And Markakis may have the green light here. 3 balls and no strikes. Right-hander on deck. Couple of men in scoring position.
Takes strike 1, 3 and 1. On deck, Delman Young batting with 2 outs and runners at second and third right now is Nick Markakis. Ball 4 and heads down to first base. First walk given up by Badenhop. Loads the bases now for Baltimore. Delman Young coming up now for the O's. He's been on the last 2 times he has been up, a single and a walk after striking out and flying out in his first 2 at bats. Career .316 hitter in this spot, has 1 grand slam. Young pops it up right side of the infield. Carp coming down will make the catch that ends the inning. The Orioles add a run on 3 hits, take a 7-3 lead. Ace Ticket, the official ticket partner of the Boston Red Sox. Well, the Red Sox coming up here at the bottom of this 7th inning with a 7-3 deficit here now to the Orioles. The Orioles had a run in the top of the 7th inning to take that 4-run lead, and Napoli, Carp, and Bogarts expected to bat here in the 7th inning. Napoli 0 for 3 tonight. And struck out, fouled out, and flied out. There's Brian Mattis back on the mound again. Mattis came into the game in the 6th inning, gave up a base hit in the 6th inning, but relatively quiet inning offensively for Boston. Napoli tried to hold up but could not. Well, defensive change here. David Lowe has taken over in left field for Delman Young. Two-one to Mike Napoli. Is in the air to deep left field, sending Lowe back at the wall. That ball is going to be scraping the wall on the way down. Lowe plays the carry man. The throw to second base will be late. Wall ball double for Mike Napoli to open up the bottom of the 7th inning.
Now Napoli keeps a mini hitting streak alive now at 4 games with that wall scraper. Hit very high. At first it looked like it might get out of here, and then it just kind of died out there in left field and scrapes the wall on the way down. Lowe, who just came into the game playing the ball off the wall, and Red Sox have the lead man on here in the 7th inning.
So Napoli at second base, his first hit of the night. Everybody in the Red Sox order has a hit with the exception of Bogaerts, but he's walked twice in the game. There's Mike Carp. He will pop it up, foul ground. Back comes Wieters, and he makes the catch for the first out here at the bottom of the 7th inning. That's played by Matt Wieters in foul ground. So 1 out and Napoli at second base. Here's Xander Bogaerts. Just mentioned that he had walked twice in the game tonight. Walked in the 2nd and again in the 5th. Part of the 4 walks allowed by the Orioles starter tonight, Chris Tillman. One out, runner at second base. Bogaerts takes strike 1. Mattis, a guy that can go multiple innings for Buck Showalter, and that's what he's trying to do here. Came in the 6th inning and trying to get through the 7th. Strike 2.
That's interesting. The Red Sox and the Orioles came into this game. The Orioles were 3rd in the league in average. Red Sox 12, but they were even in runs scored. But tonight the Orioles taking advantage of all the hits they've got, scoring 7 runs so far.
A.J. Brzezinski, who has chipped in with an RBI single tonight, waits on deck. Low for ball 2, 2-2. Buck Showalter on the phone. Nobody warming now. There is. He's looked up, and a right-hander is starting to warm in the pen. 2-2. Bogaerts drills this to left field, and this will grab some wall. Around from second base comes Napoli. Throw to second base, and Bogaerts will be out at second base. Run comes in, but Xander, trying to stretch it into a double, is thrown out. Given credit for an RBI single. Red Sox make it now 7-4.
Yeah, just too aggressive for Xander Bogaerts there. He gets the base hit to drive in a run, which is the good thing. The bad thing, thrown out at second base, down in the ball game. You've got to be 100% sure in this situation you can make that double. Low with the throw. Xander with a nice slide. Looks like he got the hand maybe around the tag, but the out call made. Yeah, he did. Oh, then he came off the bag. From this angle right here, he's safe. Then he comes off the bag. The question is, was he tagged then?
This one fouled off to the left. Looked like he tagged him in the helmet.
Watch the right hand. He's safe there, but he comes off the bag.
Got him in the helmet. Brzezinski takes pitch outside. 1-1. Darren O'Day up in the pen for the O's. And that one hits him. Looked like he was going to swing at it, but it grabs him, and down to first base he goes. 2 on base runner here for Boston.
Brzezinski from that open stance, it looks like it gets him on that left elbow area, and he'll make his way down to first base.
Jackie Bradley Jr. has been on twice, single and a walk. First time that Bradley has faced Mattis, a swing and a miss. Shortening up again, takes it outside. Fouled off to the left, out of play. 2-2. Follow every Red Sox game with your MLB.com at bat on your phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download from the App Store or visit RedSox.com today. 2-2 pitch. That is strike 3. Jackie Bradley Jr. down by way of the K to end the inning. A run for the Red Sox, who trail 7-4. Frostbrewed Coors Light. Jonathan Herrera last night, first Red Sox player to have a bases loaded bunt since 1982, and this was the bunt last night for Herrera. The bases loaded. Gary Allenson was the player that bunted back in 1982, the former catcher. a teammate of yours.
If I'm not mistaken, that bunt was against the Angels right here at Fenway Park. That bunt last night by Herrera surprising everybody in the ballpark with the bases loaded.
Chris Davis leading it off here in the 8th inning as Burke Badenhop back on the mound. 7-4. Baltimore on top. Shift here on Davis per usual as he takes the strike. Pedroia in short right field. Bring the third baseman Brock Holt to the right side of the infield. One rolled over foul. Tomorrow we'll play day baseball here at Fenway Park for game 2 of the series. Felix Dubron matched up against Bud Norris. Dubron 1-2, Norris 0-1. 2-2 is strike 3. Davis knew it, takes with him the first strikeout for Badenhop. Well, the Orioles got a run on the first on somewhat of a controversial play as the Red Sox challenged this. Boston thought it was a foul ball. Called fair, and they stuck with it. As the Red Sox challenged, and then this ground ball back up the middle by Adam Jones would score Markakis, and the Orioles get out to the 1-0 lead. That's where the frustration began tonight for Boston. The O's would get 3 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. One down for Adam Jones, who swings and misses at the high strike.
First time this year we have seen a challenge on the first batter of the game.
Yes. Ground ball to shortstop Xander Bogaerts. 2 down in the inning. Well, if you're a Red Sox and Bruins fan, you'll surely want to follow us on Instagram. The NESN Instagram account is another unique way to see all the cool happenings behind the scenes of your favorite teams. Follow us on Instagram and let all things Red Sox, Bruins, and NESN come to you. 2 down in the 8th inning, and Nelson Cruz coming up. He struck out, singled, walked, and grounded out. Single produced 2 runs. Back in the 3rd inning. Ground ball left side, diving is Holt, gets up, and his throw is a good one and in time. Nice play by Brock Holt. He's had a good night in his return to the big leagues. Preview the DuBront-Norris matchup and save of the game. DCU Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? 7-4 Baltimore on top of Boston as we head into the bottom of the 8th. Brock Holt made a nice play to end last inning. Leads it off here in the home half of the 8th. Red Sox have action in their bullpen as the inning begins. Edward Mujica. No one won the count to Brock Holt. 1 for 3 with an RBI single in tonight's game. His return to Boston.
Well, fine defensive play, as you mentioned, Don, by Brock Holt, diving to his left, and I like the way he gets up, gets himself in good proper position to make that throw to first base. He knew he had time.
Action in the Orioles pen as well, as Darren O'Day had been up last inning, up again, and Ryan Mattis starting his 3rd inning of relief as he worked the 6th, the 7th, and back out there to start the 8th. So far he has relinquished a run that came last inning. RBI single by Xander Bogaerts. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Ground ball towards second base. Lombardozzi in a hurry, and he just does get it there in time. Very close play, and John Farrell is going to go out to argue this.
Boy, Holt really got down the line in a hurry on that particular play there, as Lombardozzi had to go a little bit to his right. And kind of a running start by Holt on contact. Well,
they're going to review it, I think, even though it's not challengeable. They can review it.
They can. He can ask for a review, and if the umpires agree, then we'll have a review. So the second of the game for the Red Sox, and it looks like he beats it.
So they are going to get together and take a look at it here.
We'll see how this one goes. We're not doing too well on our reviews.
No, so far.
It did look like the front of the foot got on the bag first.
I think they're going to overturn this one, Jerry. I have faith in this one.
Okay.
I think he's going to get overturned. Fans think so. They show the replay here at Fenway. Now it's got to be in the back of the glove.
Foot's on the bag already.
Yes. So the ball is not in there and on the back of the glove. Now I don't know.
I still say safe.
Okay.
I'm going to stay with. I'm going to stay with it.
I don't know. I'm wish-washy.
Yeah, I don't blame you, because we have not had much success with these instant replays.
We're going to see. He is now safe.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So the infield hit for Brock Holt.
He's had a nice little night for himself. 2 for 4 on the ball game. Nice play defensively down at third base.
Grady Sizemore, the runner at first, and nobody out. Sizemore is single in the 6th inning. Red Sox have 11 hits now in the game. Sizemore takes strike 1. Next pitch would be the 40th out of the pen for Mattis in this game. Daniel Nava waiting on deck. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Sizemore, the swing and a miss, 1-2.
Keeping the fastball away from Sizemore. And quickly getting ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Very defensive swing there. Lefty against lefty. Ball away.
Fouled off to the left, out of play. Mattis with a 1-2 pitch to Grady Sizemore. And a check swing grounder softly towards third. Scope's got to hurry, and he'll get it there in time. Nicely dug out on the backhand by Davis at first as Holt takes second base. 1 out here in the 8th.
Nice play by Scoop at third base on this check swing. He's very, very deep, as you can see, with 2 strikes. Has to put a good hard charge on it. Throws on the run, and an accurate throw to first base for the out.
One down, Holt at second base, and Daniel Nava the batter. Nava with a double in the 5th inning. Came around to score the Red Sox 2nd run. Pedroia on deck. Red Sox batting here in the last of the 8th inning. On the ground, foul, and it evens at 1-1. Chris Tillman started this game for Baltimore tonight, went 5 innings, giving up 3 runs. Since Brian Mattis has been in, and that has been since the 6th inning, he's given up 1 run so far. The Orioles have the 3-run advantage. Inside for ball 2.
Probably the last hit he hit for Mattis. You got Pedroia on deck. You got a right-hander loose in the bullpen.
Ground ball softly back to the mound. Mattis will fire to first for the out, as retired is Nava. And remaining at second base is Holt. Stay tuned tonight following WB Extra Innings for Red Sox Final presented by Esurance. TC and Wake will preview Game 2 of the series and some of the trending topics. And Buck Showalter out to make the change. Mattis doing a nice job for him. As Darren O'Day coming in here for Baltimore. Well, it is 7-4 Baltimore on top. Let's get a NESN Sports Today update.
TC and Tim Wakefield will take a look at Victorino's progress and get a Victorino update. MLB Notebook. That's all tomorrow at 12:30 on NESN. Two down here in the 8th. Runner at second base. Red Sox trailing by 3. And a review of our Scion poll tonight. What is your favorite thing about Fenway Park? And the Green Monster right now on top, 48%. So 2 outs here in the 8th inning, and Pedroia coming up. New pitcher is Darren O'Day, 6th appearance, not giving up a run in 5 innings. 4 strikeouts and 2 walks, and opponents hitting at .278 against O'Day. Last year at a 2.18 earned run average. Second season with the Orioles last year. Was pitches in there for strike 1. That was nasty on right-handers. That delivery from the right side.
Kind of a submarine style delivery from O'Day. Starts Pedroia off with a slider.
Dustin has enjoyed some success against him at .294. Oh, 0-2.
That time the straight sinking fastball at 86 miles an hour. You see that unorthodox delivery. Not quite underhand, but close.
Not the Chad Bradford. Remember Chad Bradford?
Right, yeah. Scrape his knuckles
yes.
on the mound.
Fouled off by Pedroia, still 0-2. Runner at second base, the responsibility of Brian Mattis to win 2 2/3 innings, giving up 4 hits. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 2 in relief. Mattis doing a nice job, multiple innings out of the bullpen for Buck Showalter. Pedroia grounds to third. Scope will go to first base for the out. That ends the inning. Red Sox leave Holt at second base and trail by 3. T&T Mobility, your local Mazda dealers. Brian's Coffee Pouches, your Subaru dealers of New England. Sullivan Tire and Auto Services, and by Southwest Airlines. Cold night at Fenway Park. It's dropped down to 38 degrees. 7-4. Baltimore on top of Boston. Top half of the ninth inning. Leading it off is Matt Wieters. A little dribbler back towards the mound. The new pitcher, Mujica, fires to first base for the out. So we set it down to Gary Streisky.
Yeah, guys, so a refreshing 35 degrees out here field level, but just about 10 feet to my left, a completely another world thanks to 4 separate 200,000 BTU heaters in the Red Sox dugout. I don't know what that means, but they're telling me it's a lot and it's powerful, and it's helped me to keep the dugout about 25 degrees warmer inside, and there's a science behind it. There's 3 of them on the near side of the dugout, pushing warm air across it, and then down on the far end where John Farrell's standing, there's actually a heater in the ceiling that keeps the batting helmets and all the bats warm, and then they have this thing down to a science. Like I said, every batter that's in the hole is standing by one of the heaters on the near end, warming his bat, warming his helmet. As soon as the on-deck circle frees up, they head out. As far as the sideline reporter, just out here roughing it. Guys, what about you?
Actually, we're quite comfortable.
Yeah.
Up here. We have the windows closed, and in fact, we're not even wearing jackets, really. We have our suit jackets on, but we're very comfortable.
Joseph Aboud's outfits on, and we also have a little heater here to keep our feet warm. So
we're quite toasty, actually, Gary.
Yeah, Gary, it's very nice up here.
Kind of like summer. 2-1 pitches in there for a strike, and it's 2-2. J.J. Hardy's had a 2-hit night, driven in a run. That's a fly ball to center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. drifting back for the second out here of the ninth. Well, Mujica into this game has 2 outs in the ninth. His 6th appearance, 0-1, a 10.38 earned run average. Well, it's sitting at 350 against Mujica. He slid into that closer's role when Koji Ihara came back to get an MRI. But everything checked out all right for Koji. He picked up a save in last night's finale against Chicago. Lombardozzi getting his 5th at bat. There's Koji in the Red Sox bullpen. Well, the Red Sox trailing by 3 runs will have Napoli, Karp, and Bogart scheduled to bat. Don't forget David Ortiz on the bench. Available tonight. Pitch inside, 3-0. That's a strike, 3-1. This is rifled into center field. A screaming line drive. A 2-out single for Lombardozzi. His 2nd hit of the night.
That started off tough, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, but back-to-back hits. 1 in the 7th, 1 here in the 9th. Line shot right back through the middle as Mujica ducking.
So 2 down runner at first. The closer for the Orioles getting ready, Tommy Hunter. As it stands right now, a save situation. Jonathan Scope has had a nice night from the number 9 spot. Made a couple good defensive plays, and he's got a 3-hit night, driving in a run. Swing and a miss. Scope hits it in the air to deep left field. Back goes Sizemore at the wall. That ball's high off the wall. From first base, Lombardozzi is going to try and score. The throw is going to be off the mark, and the Orioles add to their lead to make it 8-4. Scope nearly got it out of here, but as it stands, it's his 4th hit of the ball game tonight and a double here.
Yeah, how about that production tonight from the number 9 hitter in your lineup? 4 for 5 on the night with a couple of RBIs. Fastball middle in, and is able to get the hands inside the baseball and plant it off that left field wall, high off the left field wall.
So run allowed here by Mahukia. All this coming with 2 outs in the 9th inning. He gave up the single to Lombardozzi, then the double to Scope. And here's Nick Markakis. He takes strike 1. Ball and a strike now to Markakis. John Lackey on the hook tonight for Boston. Came in at 2-1 in tonight's game. 5 1/3, giving up 10 hits and 6 runs. This is no longer a save situation. Hunter has now sat down. Ground ball down the first baseline. It is a fair ball, and the final out of the 9th. But a run for the Orioles. They pull ahead 8-4. Red Sox coming up trailing by 4. p.m. Sarah and Elle will have Bruins Red Wings reaction. They'll continue with the Marathon Feature Series. See what know-how can do. That's the last half of the 9th inning, and it's 8-4. Baltimore on top of Boston. Mike Napoli, Mike Karp, and Xander Bogaerts scheduled to bat in the inning. Darren O'Day back out there for Baltimore. He got the final out of the 8th, and he starts the 9th. Napoli takes strike 1. Mike doubled his last time up. 1 for 4 in the game tonight. Everybody in the Red Sox starting 9 has at least 1 hit. Strike 2. Red Sox being out hit 15-11 and trail 8-4. Napoli skies one to center field. Adam Jones has room. And makes the catch for the first out of the 9th inning. One out in the 9th, and Mike Carp coming up. Carp with a couple of hits tonight, a single and a double, and a 2-for-4 showing for the Red Sox first baseman tonight. Chris Tillman, the starter tonight for the Orioles, pitcher of record right now for Baltimore. Lasted just 5 innings, making himself eligible for the victory, giving 3 runs. And he threw 122 pitches in 5 innings tonight. Carp rolls it over foul, and it's 2-1. They'll miss WB extra innings today right after the game. Tom Caron and Tim Wakefield will break down John Lackey's performance tonight. We'll get you John Farrell's post-game sound, and can't go wrong when you buy right at WB Mason. (2-1) to Mike Carp. Outside for ball 3. Fouled at the dish, full count. Xander Bogaerts on deck. Boston batting here in the bottom of the 9th. Carp fouls it off to the left. In the dirt, ball 4, and a 1-out walk as Carp heads down to first base. Red Sox need base runners, and they got one here. And Xander Bogaerts coming up.
Not even close. That sinker bouncing to Matt Wieters, and Red Sox do get a base runner here with 1 out in the 9th inning. Probably a call down to the bullpen to get the closer back up just in case.
Bogaerts has been on base 3 times tonight, 2 walks and a single, as he takes a pitch inside. There is the closer, Tommy Hunter, for the Orioles, starting to warm up once again. Strike evens the count, 1-1. Bogaerts, did he go around? They'll check. No, he did not, says first base umpire Mark Carlson.
Down to one knee goes Xander Bogaerts, but he does control the head of the bat and just basically drops the bat to make sure.
Swing and a miss. That one's by him, and it's 2-2.
Right on top of the sinker that time for Bogaerts.
Napoli flied out to center. Karp walks. 1 out, 1 on in the ninth. With A.J. Pierzynski on deck. Red Sox looking for some ninth inning magic. There's a fly ball out to left center field. In comes Adam Jones. And the Orioles center fielder makes the catch for out number 2 of the ninth. That'll bring up A.J. Pierzynski with 2 down. A.J. is fly to right, popped out to short, single. Last time up was hit by a pitch. High drive to right field, down the line towards the pole, and that ball is going to be foul. To the right of the pole for A.J. Pierzynski.
Certainly had the distance, but to the right of the foul pole, and Pierzynski has to come back to the batter's box to try it again.
Now Day backs off. The 1 pitch to A.J. Pierzynski. That's outside low, 1-1. Pierzynski grounds one down the first baseline. Davis has got it, and that's the ball game. The Red Sox unable to come back in the 9th inning as the Baltimore Orioles down the Red Sox in game 1 of the series. A frustrating night for the Red Sox in their return. They do bang out 11 hits in this game, but to drop the first game of the 4-game series tonight, and certainly, Tom Karen, not the way the Red Sox wanted to begin this homestand against the Orioles here tonight at Fenway.